Yeah.
Mic was off.
Mike, well, you distracted me at like the last 5 seconds of the video. Then here we are. What's up, everybody? Welcome Tuesday. Let's go. That's right. El Clasico 1980. 1980, good year. You definitely definitely classic. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in.
Oh, wow.
Bro, now we got to say something. We got to say something. Go tell that guy something's going. It's like, hey man,
we're doing the best show on.
We're doing the best show live Tuesday, and there's a guy. We live in. There's. I mean, outside of the studio is what's happening out there?
It looks like Fran.
Fran's out there with a leaf blower, just ripping. Get out there and tell that guy what's up.
I'm not telling that guy.
Hey, be like, hey man, cut it down. Cut it down.
He's walking away.
That's right. He's walking away. He just saw you peeking through the windows there. Anyway, we got some construction going outside of the studio right here, and
I know exactly what was gonna happen if I tell that guy to turn his leaf blower off.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
exactly.
stop making your money.
Exactly. Well, he's already made his money. It's not like he's getting paid more to blow the things. He's like, he gets paid for the day. The day is over, pal. Anyway, let's start that over again. Air horn for everybody. Air horn for paintball on TV. We've got a poll right there above. Did you guys love the show that you watched? I don't even know how to. Oh yeah. Did you love it? Did you not love it, but still think it's great for the sport, or you didn't like it at all? Meaning that 6% of you didn't like it so much that you did not believe that it was even good for the sport. That's pretty wild. That's 2 of you, I believe, at this point here that feel that way. So I'm sorry for you. Sorry you feel that way. And we're going to get into how we feel. We don't want to do the spoiler right off the break.
Yeah.
We don't want to do the spoiler right off the break. I'm also going to turn on, get the Zoom rolling here. Zoom rolling here to get everybody possibly in on the action. We got a couple feelers out for a couple guys. I also, we got Verbal who's going to jump on a little bit later and discuss what he feels and how he felt about it, because he was also very vocal on his thoughts on how to film it and being shot. And actually, Moffat, if you're in here, I'll shoot you the link as well. I'm gonna do that right now. Get you in there. Is this guy weed whacking? There's an alley right there. There's nothing to blow. There's definitely no leaves.
Yeah.
Was it Fran?
It looked like.
It looked like Fran. I could see Fran doing that. By the way.
So the reason I didn't want to say anything is because it looked like Mike Hinman mixed with Fran. So I'm not gonna go say anything to that guy. Does he have a chainsaw now? He might. Yeah, definitely don't say anything. Don't say anything to him. All right, so we are on episode 203. Paintball was just on TV, and it's a big deal. It's a big thing. And by a show of yes or no, let me know here in the comments, did you watch it? And obviously, you guys can vote on how you felt about it above. We've got also some really cool stats here from Doc and Mr. Rob Palomo. They both scraped every single episode ever. And they've got an answer to how many times Alex FRAIGE's been on the Spick Span Show. Oh.
Yeah. So not only that, but we got 2 more views on every single episode. So we're padding our stats here, boys.
Wait, so what that was a discussion?
That was a discussion last time. Remember, like, how many times you've been on the show? And he's like, oh, at least this many. And he's like, please don't somebody burn their eyeballs by having to watch every single episode again. But we got Doc and...
Doc said he watched every episode.
Yeah.
Actually? I mean, that's wild. No, there's no chance.
He didn't watch every episode, Friday to Sunday. He had to, he's got stats on every single guest. Dude, let's get an air one for him. Rob's got some great stats also. I got all those. Sloan was our first guest.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We can do a couple of, we could do some trivia out of it.
Oh yeah, we could.
Also, coming up here, we've got a lot of things. We've got a lot of things cooking. Okay, we got WCPPL layout dropping tomorrow. Event starts on Friday. Field walk on Thursday. Gen X, our fond of them, just messaged me literally 1 hour ago and let me know to let you guys know that if there's anybody in the area that needs pods, you guys can go onto the website. Kyle, we put the Gen X website in here for them, and you can pick up from their warehouse. And if you use code TEAMGXG, which is
and where's the warehouse?
That's actually a really good question, but I think it's like right in like San Bernardino, kind of Corona area.
See, sometimes
let's find out. It's pretty close.
Sometimes
it's like
that's under Contact Us.
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yeah. So they're in Ontario. Team GXG will get you $10 off a box or your order, just your order of pods, and you guys can pick them up. So you gotta order it from their site first. Let's go and pop that thing in there, and we'll get you guys a link. Pickup hours are Wednesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you're flying in, make sure you guys swing by the airport, the Ontario airport, and grab some pods from there. You got to buy them on the site before you pick them up. GXGsports.com. Use Team GXG to get $10 off your order. And also, guys, it's really important that you support our supporters and our sponsors. Everybody who sponsors this show and supports this show helps to keep us back every single week, along with you guys and all of your support as well. So like, share, comment, do everything that you can here to support and grow paintball on. This guy's throwing me off here. He's back out there with the. What was he blowing though?
Just the ground and cars.
Just ripping rocks up into the cars. This is the same people. This is the same guy that's painting this building next door with one of those little spray painter things, with all those cars parked right next to it. He's just blowing house paint onto these cars.
Maybe he's blowing it off right now.
Yeah, he's just drying it on the cars.
I thought there's a setting that cuts the back noise out of this.
Yeah, can you guys hear the blower? Actually, we should start there. Can you guys hear it? So it's the gain function. It's down all the way.
Oh, I think it might be on that.
It might also just be us, but I think that there's like one of those things like.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian Stewart says yes, we can hear it. William cannot. QS, yes, we can hear it sometimes. All right, Doc. Doc's Mr. Optimistic. I like Doc's got it there. Yes, no, yes, sometimes. Now we can't. So Docs, you can only hear it sometimes because that's when it's actually blowing. So sometimes when he's not blowing, you cannot hear it.
Like, you definitely can't hear it right now.
No, not right now, and that's mainly because he's not blowing.
Yes.
Anyway, big shout out to our sponsors, GI Sports, NECTR Energy. We're throwing pucks in for everybody's order, whatever you win. We're going to be giving away some Gen X Global stuff. We got a couple more pod caddies out there. I think you guys are getting your water bottles and all that. And we've got a bunch of other cool little giveaways and a bunch of unclaimed giveaways. So just as a reminder, if you are a show supporter, okay? So if you are a member of the show and your name is in green, first of all, thank you very much. We appreciate that support. And if you are, though, make sure that you send us via Instagram, email, carrier pigeon, however you guys, Raven, if you're into that sort of thing. If that really is a thing. Make sure we have your address so that when you win, I can ship you something and then remind you that you are subscribed to the show. So then you can probably cancel your membership going, what am I still doing supporting this crap? Also, 713 Threads, thank you for the sick little collabs here. You got some more. You got another Spick Span band. We got the customs here.
These nuts.
These nuts. We got the surfboard. This one is a special to a show supporter. This one's gonna be shipped out to you. I don't even want to say it. I just want to send it. And then a little one-off, one of a kind. So
yeah, I like that.
Thank you very much for that. Ravens were a thing, Doc. Thanks. Doc's our young Jamie, actually. Yeah. He's got all the. We need him on the sidelines here.
Yeah.
Just constantly feeding us info. We gotta keep feeding us into info. Yeah, Jonas, thank you for donating the no sleep at staying up till 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. Appreciate that as well. So we're gonna start talking about the ESPN show. Kyle, what did you think about the ESPN show? Just off the break here, we can just fire you in there. I'm gonna get.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I was
verb here.
Impressed with it. I didn't love the GoPro shots, but I'm pretty stoked that we got that back up. I think obviously it could be a little bit longer. It seems like it was kind of like squeezed into 30 minutes or 25 minutes, whatever it was. Also, too, just coming back from that first commercial break, it was like 2-0, and then it was like 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, but I'm not complaining. Like I'd rather have that than not have it. So.
Right, and that's kind of what I wrote up there. If you guys want to all jump in the poll, it was a 57 out of about almost 100 of you here to vote. But loved it, great for the sport. Didn't love it, still great for the sport. And 9% of you still did not feel like it was very good. So that's about almost that's about 5 of you right now. 5 people did not like it at all whatsoever. So maybe you clicked the wrong button, or you really truly do feel that way. And if that's the case, please leave in the comments below why it is that you feel that way.
Do any of you guys know also too if there's a place you can go back and watch it?
Yeah, is there an on demand? Because I don't have. Is TiVo still a thing? Like the
recording? Like
when you record the TV while it's playing? Is that still a thing?
I don't know. I wonder if that's like illegal now.
I did speak with let's see if Tom wants to come on. Oh yeah, Tom. Here you go. Jump on in. Oops. Let's see if we get Tom on the show here. I asked him to be on the show. He didn't reply, and then here he is saying, "What's the story with the show?"
YouTube TV has it on demand.
Oh, they do have it on demand.
And ESPN Plus has it.
Okay, I heard ESPN. I heard ESPN Plus didn't have it because Perchak was trying to get it. Or was that you on ESPN Plus?
I tried to get it on ESPN Plus, but that was when it was live.
When it was live. Okay.
And that reminds me, I need to cancel this free YouTube TV trial.
We'll hold on to it because then I can You
want to watch it again?
Well, I want to watch it again. I want to watch the full thing. I didn't get a chance to watch the full thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did that come on Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
Just.
How long do you have it free?
A week. And then I get charged $75.
Oh!
And you know how good I am about remembering things. So you just took me off of that. That could be expensive.
If you have to pay to watch failure, I don't know exactly what that means, but yeah. So I don't have DVR. I don't think I've got a bunch of different streaming services, but I went on to watch it. It started a little late. I got kids that were going absolutely nuclear, and that's kind of where it lapsed there. I saw bits and pieces of it. And we're going to go over in depth. So like not really, don't let that one lapse, but then at least you get to watch other TV things. Good thing. Cause you're still logged in on the TV here in the living room. So I can literally just go in there and
I've noticed
it. Oh, you're getting a lot of Taylor Swift on your...
I'm getting like mix. No, I like have my accounts and then like randomly it'll have like Sloan or Ryan. It's like they're just like hybriding together.
That's weird because I have my own account over there, but you might be getting suggested things that like for instance, if Sylvia, if our cleaner comes in and watches things, then you get a lot of gossip.
No, not suggested. Like the accounts, like when you log on to like
your account is now
HBO I know or YouTube. It's like which account do you want to pick? I don't know how. And it was funny because even like when I logged onto that TV, I think I only did like Netflix at first or something, and it somehow brought up all the accounts like Hulu, everything. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's we're gonna jump over here and we're gonna jump into the NECTR projector right here. Shout out to the boys from NECTR sponsoring the show.
Also, thank you, Burble. It was his idea for the YouTube TV trial. He said last week.
Yeah. Okay, Tom jumped in and then he just jumped out.
Oh.
So, there he is.
I think your camera's off too.
My camera's off?
Mm-hmm.
What camera?
On Zoom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll change that. All right. 1 second, Tom. We're gonna get you in here. I need to turn this camera on. Where are you? Okay. Can you hear me, Tom?
I hear you.
Okay. I cannot see you. Let's see here. What? Why can't I see you? Is your camera on?
I don't know. Let me check.
Aha. Participants. Okay. Your camera is not on, so I'm going to ask you to start video, please. And then I'm going to try to figure out why this...
Oh, wait, there he was. Go back.
See him?
Go back to the...
Hey! All right. Overview here. So is this not the Zoom workplace? All right, hold on. I'm going to get you in here. Let's go to this, and then let's go back to Zoom. Sorry about that. I'm just getting you in here.
Sorry.
In the meantime, they can hear you. So if you want to kind of chat and say hi, and I'm gonna get you cruising here.
No worries. Hope everybody's having a good day.
There you are. Yeah, doing great. How's your day?
It's good. It's good. I mean, we've already talked once today. I am moving today, so
Staying busy.
It's like you're in a
trying
helicopter.
to stay busy.
Staying busy. And you're in a helicopter.
Do what? And
What-
an helicopter, yeah.
What's the background we're looking at?
That's World Cup.
All right. Your proudest. Your
Your video's off too.
Yeah, my crown jewel. I mean, we try and show the parking. That's the parking lot, right? That shows the outside world, how many people we have.
All
So-
right. That's the coolest part of it. And Verbal, we'll get you here in just a second. So far so good. So it's a success. We're cruising with ESPN, right?
Yeah, they just added 3 more airings. So that part's pretty cool.
Do you?
I think we average about 500,000 views per airing.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
So that'll be 2.5 million by the end of that.
Nice.
And then the time slots we had was 10 p.m. the first one, which is 1 a.m. Eastern. Then we
Eastern.
did a 10 a.m. Pacific, or was it 9 a.m. Pacific? Yesterday.
What do you mean, the second one?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what time it was yesterday. I can tell you. Hold
And that was
on. Hold on, I
Monday.
have a picture of it.
And then we have a Wednesday showing coming up here. And Schwartz Gable played it on 2 TVs at work.
Oh, I appreciate it. So we were probably at 400. Well, I can't even do the math, but 2 short of 500,000, and then he threw us over.
Yeah, that was
So
it.
I appreciate it.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I had multiple TVs going myself. So 2 days ago, of course, my picture does not show the time. So I'm pretty good at this. Oh, there it is. So it doesn't say what time it did air, but it will this Wednesday. It comes on at 10 o'clock Central Time. That's today, right? What is that?
10 p.m.
That's
Central. Today's Tuesday. It's your favorite day of the week.
10
It's
a.m. or 10 p.m.?
10 p.m. or a.m.
10 p.m. Central.
Central.
Tomorrow, 10 p.m.
Okay,
Central.
is that 8 o'clock
Us.
us time?
8 o'clock your time.
Okay, 8 p.m. That's a great time slot, Tom. That's the spot we wanted. That was
That
what
is
you
the
told
spot
me
we
the other
wanted.
day.
The next one is Sunday, August 11th at 8 a.m. my time. So that
Okay.
would be
Six-
6 a.m. your time.
Okay,
9 o'clock.
I'm up
Eastern.
for that one also. Yep. I'm up for that one.
The kids got you up at all hours, just not 10 o'clock at night.
I was up. Oh no,
were you?
I was up. I'm not allowed to go watch, drop everything that's happening with 2 screaming hooligans. They're not even hooligans yet. Who knows what's
Yeah.
gonna happen?
They're pre-hooligans.
I'm not about to be like, Camille, I know you're tired. I'm gonna go in here and watch tire wrestling real quick because I know that the paintball thing's supposed to come on at some point in time. That didn't.
And then the last one is Tuesday, August 13th at 10 p.m. my time. So
Dude,
that
if they
is
put it
8
at 4 p.m., that would be,
Oh,
they'd be
yeah.
in big trouble. Well, that's great. And then is that the end of the Ocho's week? Does that mean that that's just kind of like?
So it's technically, I think the Ochos has ended. It ended Sunday night. So now they're just doing the re-airings, which is what everybody told me would happen, that it would just constantly get re-aired. So
Did it have comparisons of viewership to those other ones that were on like either side of it or before it?
we don't really have anything yet. The preliminary report was that we crushed it over the other people. I think tire wrestling or whatever that was called was benefited a little bit by running late because all our viewers chimed in. But yeah.
What would you say? I mean, like, how is everybody in the production side of things? Like, how are you guys happy with it? How is it all? I got some right here. I got a bunch of them right here.
So it was to be candid, it was a little rushed, right, from our end
Right.
and their end, right? So when we initially talked to ESPN, they wanted the delivery date to be June 19th, the
Mhm.
preliminary delivery date. And since we didn't even start filming until June 23rd, that wasn't. I'm looking at my calendar behind me. So we knew it was going to be crunch time. Most of these people had significant amount of time to prepare and kind of get their stuff together, except for the live ones. So I was pretty happy with it, especially for a first shot out of the park.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean, it
So-
certainly looked better than pretty much every other Can you pull up the list of the Ocho's shows, like because I saw the stone skipping. They had stone skipping. Obviously, everybody I think saw the tire wrestling, which looked like they filmed it in the Spick and Span studio. That was the production value they had there. Like used our lights, and then what else was there? Did anybody see anything else? There were some pretty. Yeah, the stone skipping guy was pretty. That was wild. Like you can kind of relate to that. Everybody's throwing a stone at the rock, but like those were. I think
that's not all about it. Right?
That's what. Okay, I think from a perspective of Microsoft Excel, I can get into that. Card-jitsu, I've seen that. Ultimate Tire Wrestling.
I like the card.
Major League Paintball, Atlantic City, Major, Sunday 1 a.m.
This is like, I don't know when this.
This is the schedule. Yeah, that's the schedule right there. Read off a couple of those. Hamlin Adult, what?
One Wheel World Championship, Foot Golf, World Table Hockey, Cross Net Sand Series, Grass Drag Racing Season Opener, Franklin Rock River Stone Skipping.
So
Sign spinning.
I did a little poll here. We got about 75 out of 100 and something people voted. They should have mosquito zapping. 75% of the people there are saying that they loved it. It's great for the sport.
What is slippery stairs?
People said they didn't love it. It's still great for the sport. I think 3 people or 4 people may have accidentally pushed the wrong button. 4 people and said they didn't like it at all. What as far as like you're truthful, if you were to like give a 1 to 10, Roger Ebert, Tom Cole review on IMDb review on this, like where would you put it on a 1 to 10? I know Dynasty wasn't in it, so we'll just
we'll take a point for no Dynasty.
Take a couple points for that. Yeah.
I would probably say a 7, to be honest.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
So it's like it was our first time out, right? So I was happy with the way everything turned out, but now looking back, there's a lot of stuff we could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the second time we do it, it'll be a much better production. So we're currently working on the hour-long show, and there is a link to a form that gets suggestions, which we already got 75 people chimed in and given us suggestions. But we are still making an hour-long show, and that's still in production. So, and I think we might have a call later this week with the production company to give them insight into what we're looking for out of the hour. So if anybody didn't fill out that form that has some pretty opinionated things about what we could have done differently, make sure they chime in on that form.
And where do they find it?
It's on our social media. I can whatever. Yeah, I don't know exactly where it's at. It's on our social media posts about the show.
Yeah, I mean,
or they can just email me at tom@majorleaguepb.com and I will send them.
Yeah, Tom's email is also on the NXL website, so if you want to like just get him right on the horn and leave a voicemail and give it to
yeah, my phone is right on there. Yeah.
There's a sport called slippery stairs.
Yeah.
I just people throwing buckets of like oil or something on these stairs.
To be honest, that was the only, because we went there and saw it live. Me and Kevin went and saw it live.
The slippery stair competition?
Well, but just the overall production, and that was the only sport that had like a real build out. They built a hell of a tower. They built that thing. That was impressive. Everything else was kind of hokey.
Yeah, that's
not hokey, but it was an impressive build.
I mean, it was basically what's that one show that they that one really popular like Japanese game show? It's like don't get eliminated,
Yeah.
Which they made into like a U.S. version. It's basically like one version of that.
Well, American Ninja
Takashi's Castle.
Pretty popular.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of briefly mentioned this to Maddie, and like one of the things that I feel obviously didn't lose people. What's that? Oh, Verbal's in here. We'll get him. We're gonna get him in here in a second. One of the things was just the skipping around of the points, right? I understand that the explanation of what the game is, how it goes, intro, outro, explain the sport a little bit more, all that stuff needs to happen. But going from like 2-0 to 4-3, you missed some meat there. And
we missed some meat, and we missed some aftershock meat, right? It's like almost every time Aftershock won a point, we went to a commercial.
Right.
Which
I didn't even know about
That was a good point. Yeah.
I felt bad for the Aftershock guys, and I'm sure they're some of the people that are loving that.
Well, and also on that, because I funny, Kevin Rudolph from Cali posted some funny, like some kind of, I don't know if he's some famous guy or some guy's got a couple
The guy
hundred thousand.
doing the voiceover?
Yeah, and he's like, man, what is this? Oh, wow, they're just, this ref's sleeping. Like,
That
he
guy
did his
lit
funny
up.
little commentary over what it was. And the action in those fast points, even though you don't really know what the hell happened, like, all right, that was a quick point. Like, the shooting was off the break. Like, I feel like, again, I didn't watch the whole thing, so my on everything is kind of with a grain of salt. But I feel like it's important that if you're going to show the game, you don't just kind of like
So
skip
you're
over
like
a bunch
a coach who
touchdowns.
leaves for the match and then comes back and tells me how I played it all wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah. Exactly.
You're good.
Exactly.
Well, I happen to think you didn't make it there fast enough, Tom. So we cut the points out. And that wasn't a decision that we made lightly, right? Matter of fact, it was a decision I made at all. But it had to happen because of the show. I would have cut out the award show. I would have cut out some of the other stuff that was frilled. But they weren't making it for us. They were making it for people that don't know anything.
Sure.
And yeah, I feel like the time constraints got to them. And I think the hour-long show is more a natural segue for that long of a match.
What do you mean that long of a match? Isn't the match only 15 minutes long? I thought that's how long. How long is our matches?
The match is 15 minutes long, and we had 22 minutes. And if they were going to do anything about like setting up the story and then doing the awards and showing who the people were, you know what I mean? I mean, a football game is an hour long, yet it takes 3 hours to show it on TV.
Right. Well, that's because they're packed with commercials and timeouts. It's not like they stop and then don't show you a field goal, sit 10 downs, possession changes,
No,
two
they
touchdowns
don't.
while they're talking about how to play football. They're talking about it while
the
they're going.
NFL.
Like in those long,
NFL.
like in the long points, you know, where you're playing a longer point. It's like, hey, this is, you know, what they're trying to do.
So you would miss stuff if the NFL was actually kept to a 3-hour time limit.
Oh, for
right?
sure,
They
yeah.
go 3 hours and 11 minutes. So we don't quite swing the ass to say, hey guys, we would like to bump friends off of the next hour or whatever. You know what I mean? They're not
Right.
gonna, joining after the paintball. I mean, and we kind of got worked by the entire wrestling or whatever because that overflowed into our time slot. But yeah, I mean, it's our first round up. We don't have a lot of like stance, right?
Mhm.
So
I didn't see the awards part. Did they hold up the check?
they did not.
Good thinking. Good thinking. You
Yes.
you should have put or if they did, you should have put like a $500,000 check
Yeah,
with a little asterisk at the end.
that says this is not valid. For
No, just pay 500,000 rubles. good for the rubles. Do you want so you said that you've got a bunch of people and there's a link available on the site somewhere and people are going to be able to go on there and just kind of give you some comments and you guys can throw them into everything.
They make us rate the show and then tell us what they think we should do different for next time.
And what's the next step then? What's your what is the best case not best case scenario, but like where are we headed from here? Is there going to be a camera cruise in Chicago?
So no, there will not be camera crews in Chicago. So we have an audit that's being done by an outside company to give us our viewership and compare them to everybody else. So that'll be the first step for us. Once we get those numbers to kind of see how we compare and we hear back from ESPN, I emailed some people over there and no one's heard anything yet. So for any of the sports.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not even like a little scuttle about it. So I guess sometime early next week we'll have some real numbers, and then at that point in time we will go back to ESPN and try and pitch them the hour-long show, and then we will start then trying to pitch it to other networks. ESPN has a right of first refusal, so if we do get anything, they can come in and say, you know, we would like to continue or exercise our option on it or whatever. So we'll go from there.
Is there a way to effectively show a 30-minute version of this?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, I say that. Yeah, I mean, we could have cut some stuff out, right? The question is how long are we going to have to educate the consumer, right? How many times are we playing the same thing that says, this is what a paintball is, and the guns are shooting 200 miles an hour, and this is a Dorito, right? We probably have a long road of trying to educate people. So I do think an hour is probably more adequate. I mean, I'll wait to see what the hour-long show was. I thought 30 minutes was going to be perfect. But in a perfect world, we would have shown some game footage of the games right before that, right? There's a little bit of breakouts and stuff, but I would have wished for more of a story of how we got here, right? The trials and tribulations, right? When did Dynasty get knocked out? When did Impact get knocked out? When did X Factor get knocked out? That kind of stuff. So, and like going through the cornhole thing, and I've said this on other shows, but I'll say it again. So in 2020, what year was COVID? 2020. ESPN, the Cornhole League was on ESPN, on the same exact show we were. Last year they sold, I think, 300 hours of broadcast to ESPN.
That's great, right?
Yeah, so that's a 4-year turnaround, right? So that means if we follow the same model and we're easy, if we could follow the same trajectory, we would be at 300 hours in 4 years, just in time for you to retire.
No, I'm shooting for the Olympics in 12 years from now, because we're not going to make it in
Australia.
We're not getting Australia. That's 8 years from now. So, and they don't know exactly where we're going to be 12 years from now. So that's, Tom, I'm hoping that you're still fighting the good fight.
Let's hope so.
I mean, there's a small chance that we can get Australia. No,
0.
Do you want to?
I would say 1%. I'm not going to say 0.
I'll take that. We'll get the 5 people that didn't like the show at all, and we'll use their energy to help vote us in. What do you want to talk about that real quick, just for a minute, because I'm gonna get Verbal on, because he had some comments on the show, and he was a little he was kind of vocal on like how great it was that you guys expanded the field. I believe mainly because
I keep giving Verbal credit for that. I think that was his call.
Yeah, excellent. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because obviously the Olympics are in full swing. We've got Team USA happening for the Nations Cup for the U.S. squad coming up here relatively soon. Mike Urena just texted me. We're on the same team again.
Those look good.
Yeah, these jerseys look good. The USA jerseys just kind of popped up. The 3D rendering of them. At least I got the first look at them. So talk a little bit about how that works, and what are the outside chances that we make it into to the Olympics? You and I have had this conversation a lot.
So, I mean, we had what I felt was a reasonable chance that it was going to be in the U.S., right? Because every country gets to select a sport to put forward as their host sport or whatever. And the Olympics are struggling, right? I don't think it's no secret that their viewership numbers have continued to go down, right? And so they are actively looking for exciting sports that they want to, kind of cover. And if we can show, which I think we did a really good job with promoting the ESPN thing as a community, right? Like our shares got like 700 shares, and it was very vocal. And that stuff all adds up, right? So I think the fact that we've shown that may help create that. And we've obviously put some stuff in place. We now have the women's. We basically have the same rule set in almost every country, or at least paintball being played under what we consider the same rule set in every country. So we've ticked a lot of the boxes. It's now just a matter of going through the process of making it happen.
Yeah, that's great. And so the process is basically, first thing you got to do is create a federation, in which you have to have a minimum amount of countries that are a part of it. You need to have a women's and a men's league, correct?
So it has to be played by a certain amount of countries as women and a certain amount of countries as men.
Got it. And we tick both of those boxes, correct?
Tick all those boxes.
All the boxes. And then each cycle they're releasing these new sports, which is why you see surfing, skateboarding. I think kiteboarding was on there. There's like a lot of these new sports that are kind of more mainstream. Do you know who's going into LA? Do you know who beat us out?
No, who?
No, I don't know. I was hoping probably pickleball is my guess.
I feel like I do know. I just can't remember right now. They told me. So I don't remember that off the top of my head.
What? Yeah. So and then the next one's
Karjitsu.
No, I hope it's not Karjitsu. Damn it! Indoor wrestling.
Karjitsu is pretty cool.
I mean, it's practical. With all the carjackings in California, if you live in Oakland, you better know some Karjitsu.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it. You can use the seatbelt.
That's my only move in Karjitsu.
Wrap it around.
Right? When Oliver and I used to wrestle in the car, like the only thing you can do is we had to tie him up with a seatbelt. Like that's the best move you can do. Yeah. Squash and lacrosse. I don't know if lacrosse, I mean, I could be wrong. Verb could be completely right on this. And Verb, we're going to get you in here right now. I don't think lacrosse was international. I didn't think it was. I know it's blowing up in the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
I feel like that belongs there.
I think so too. And obviously, yeah, pickleball is a big one. Additions to 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles are already being finalized. The LA OGPC, OCOG, 5 new sports program. Okay. Edition of Summer Games will feature flag football and squash.
Squash.
Is squash is it a farming thing? Where you pick?
No.
You grow.
Squash is a paddle sport. I think it's like badminton. But...
Okay, that was a good joke, huh? Didn't work.
Not at all.
Okay, thanks. Here, let's get Verbal in here because he's been waiting on this one for a little bit, but I don't know. What about the other games? Aren't there other games that aren't there other not non-Olympic games? What was the other one that they maybe recommended?
Good God, Verbal with the
I know, dude. Look at this guy. You're making us.
It looks legit.
Can we dump? Is there a way that I can anti-filter your screen?
Yeah.
Is there an anti-filter that I could throw on here?
God.
That camera's nice,
dude.
The camera guy to make it like a high-tech. Yeah.
This is what I did before I started.
Dude, listen to his voice.
Yeah, so smooth.
I know he's even got a good voice.
An angel.
Yeah.
There's an angel behind that camera.
All the microphone.
Yeah.
Really?
Damn. Well, anyway,
software.
now that you just
with you, Verbal.
Yeah, now that you just slam dunked on us,
Yeah.
on all of us here, what's up, dude?
Not much.
So, what did you think?
So it felt like Go Sports Plus is what I kind of viewed it as. Like it was like a Go Sports broadcast, but like with upped quality. Like having the name tags and the numbers, freaking awesome. That's cool. That's obviously something you can only do in post-production. But I felt some of the camera cuts were a little jumpy for sure. Going from overhead to not necessarily where I would have taken it to. I feel the GoPros weren't utilized correctly. I would like to see the bunkerings and such with those. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to watch. I feel like the big field wasn't utilized. They didn't use it properly. I would have, I don't know. I sent
like having
Ryan
that much extra space.
Yeah, I sent Ryan some cool shots, and I'm going to make a whole thing about it. I need to get it voiced over, but I have a little thing, Tom, to show you the what you can do and how it shows properly, because one of the most common comments I get on my videos is because we're on the sidelines a lot, is that what are they shooting at? So this really allowed, the depth of the field really allowed to get that. And then I know Tom knows a little bit about cameras, so you gotta really crank that aperture. So I started shooting at f20, which is kind of bonkers, but it'll get both players in focus, and then you can see the streams.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what the NASCAR guy told me, is we needed to bump our aperture up and shoot from the back line so that we were getting both things. And you need the distance in order to create that depth of field there. So you do need that distance. So that's why we wanted to do the stuff on the back end. It'd be neat to, like I said, I felt like everything was rushed. There's so many people we could have got input on that would have helped. We should let you talk to our production group at some point in time and kind of like walk in and do some stuff. Because we did use paintball people. I mean, it was Go Sports that filmed it for the most part.
Right.
Yeah. And the long-term goal, even from the outside production company, is that we handle a lot of the production in-house. And they're more like the conduit to do the After Effects stuff and trying to keep us at different,
Right.
on different
Yeah.
TV shows and meeting the
graphics were
specs
sick.
that ESPN or whoever the next person is giving us, right?
Right. Yeah, they did like I don't know all the graphics and overlays were awesome. But yeah, I feel that they didn't fully utilize the extra space of the field because I don't know. I'll text you this video. It's not done yet, but it shows off some of the shots that you can get. Like it shows Colt Roberts shooting a lane, and it shows why Chavez can't move at all, which is something that people don't understand because they're like, oh, well, why is he just shooting at nothing?
Why is he just standing there? Like, why doesn't this guy move? Why is he tucked into his bunker so tightly?
Yeah, and you can see the paint flying by. That there's clearly no spot for him to be able to move because he'll just get smoked. So
I didn't think the fact that Dorito 1 was kind of inset wasn't ideal, right? Because a lot of times people are going to Dorito 1, you couldn't shoot at each other, so there was never any head-to-head battle along a Dorito side, at least at the points that I watched, right? So, yeah, but the Hertz bunker got some play, right? Malloy gave a little master class there on what to do.
yeah, good luck.
So,
And
I like that virtual thing at the beginning too, or like breaks down how the field is. It's like that animation.
yeah, no, that was really cool.
Oh yeah,
Good use.
It's like 3D rendering.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then that's what you need, right? Because again, like part of this is education. A lot of this, the action that's in there, you can almost like argue that you could have just put up like a dirter style, like old school, just or what
Like
like
720
get a bunch
video.
of like it's one of those like and what you guys, Verbal and Ryan and all the videographers put up for their 15-second reels. Just do a huge just
You need like that
smash
show
up.
like the Chive. Remember that where they just
Yeah,
goes through
yeah,
clips,
where they
but
just
it's
throw
like,
through clips of people getting shot, like whoa, and some cool dives and slides and all that stuff, and then be like, this is paintball. A lot of but that's more of a commercial sizzle reel.
Right.
But definitely needed more action. I didn't like what I saw from the GoPros. Tom, we talked about it. It seemed like they didn't have the motion stabilization button on.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah.
I have had a meeting with GoPro since then. So
You had a
hopefully
meeting
we have-
directly with GoPro?
Yeah, directly with GoPro.
Okay. That's good.
So yeah, they actually reached out to us.
Sweet.
Said that we're happy we were using GoPro in the ESPN show. So maybe they can give us some technical advice. I mean, that was something that Go Sports obviously had done. I would assume that they do stuff correctly, right? But I don't know.
It's just like a lot of backups of loaders. We talked about this. There's a reason that a lot of paintball players that are creating content, back when I used to do that, don't put them on their forehead, and that's because it's great if you're like just standing there and you're doing like a big game or something like that, and your gun is down. But when you're playing, you bring your gun up and you'll just see in the back of your loader. And that obviously was, I'm sure.
And you're also, it's also too wide of an angle. A lot of times you can't see it. The problem with the barrel, though, is anybody at distance, you've elevated the barrel a little bit, and it makes it so you don't really see who they're shooting at. You see the gun kind of.
But I don't think that matters too much, right? Because of the distance, the depth of field with the wide angle anyway, you can't really tell what's going on. And if you do the barrel cam, at least you're getting people getting bunkered.
What if that?
And that's what you're looking for. Like that's where the money shot is, or like a killer snapshot, or just even like a guy running through a lane, and you're like, oh, that was the hit, that was the shot right there.
Would it just be too distracting to do like the barrel cam? That
you gotta have those
cylinder one?
you gotta have the little sessions ones. Do they make those anymore, Verbal?
I don't know.
I think they
Not
stopped.
sure.
I know in the Sessions commercial on TV, paintball was one of the featured things on their actual sales commercial. They might have gotten rid of those.
So what if you're doing like a wide angle of like, there was a couple cool shots of like J-Rab moving like in transition down the snake, and then in that picture there's like you could see the barrel cam too. Would that be too distracting on your eyes, or it like goes from that far away shot into like the camera
like a
shot?
split screen?
Yeah.
Kind of like how all of us are on here.
Yeah.
Well, we will start testing more stuff, right? I mean, if you think about it, right, we started the conversation with ESPN on April 25th. Or is that right? April 25th?
Okay.
And then we went to filming June 23rd. So it was kind of a whirlwind on our end, right? Not to say we haven't been doing stuff with Go Sports and stuff, but it was a lot to pull together there in like that 60-day period. So now that I know TV's viable and that we have a fairly decent inroad, we will start testing stuff. And by that, I mean verbal testing stuff. But yeah, we need to start getting some more footage, and we have ideas on our ends, but we definitely want to hear everybody else's input. And we also, like, we're going to have a meeting with the production company and ESPN after this to kind of get what their take was, right? We will also want some outside eyes on this about what they're going to do.
I think you're doing a great job, Tom.
Yeah, we say it every time.
Thank you very much.
Genuinely.
You could be doing better, but you're doing a great job.
Everybody could be doing better.
See,
at their job.
That's great. Everybody could be better.
Everybody could be
Verb,
better.
what do you think? What do you think could have been some quick, easy fixes, or what do you think you would like to see implemented like next time that could really change a trajectory? And also twofold, do you think you can do this show in 30 minutes?
All right, so that's what I think is crazy. See that show in 30 minutes, I was like, wow, like how are they gonna do that? Because that's I was really curious to see what they put together, because that is, I mean, it's not even 30 minutes, it's 22 minutes with commercials. So
Right.
That's just so fast, and even just the amount of footage they had breaking it down in that amount of time is just like bonkers. Like I was like, what? Like. Thinking about how much I watch video and edit, I was like, wow, that's a lot to put into a very short time. But I do think usage of the full field and getting the proper angles, and I can show people how to do that, because if we're not getting smoked by paintballs, like it made a world of difference being able to stand back there. And sure, you get hit some, but they like by that point they're like dropping down and just losing velocity, and you're just kind of laughing, just like, oh, hey, it tickles. But
I've been giving you credit, Verbal, for the long field there. You've been asking for that for a little while, so.
Is that going to be continued?
It will continue if we can.
That's fair.
I mean, the biggest challenge we face right now is that our events have gotten so large, we have a hard time finding venues. So Vegas doesn't want us back unless we are smaller. So
that makes total sense.
We could just go to 6 events, and then that could be a smaller one.
Or you do a pro only event.
That would be tight. You get a lot of people show up too.
That is cost effective.
Because they don't have to play.
If you're about to sign that big TV
you can sell
deal.
the tickets for a lot. People don't have to worry about not drinking because they're not playing. They just come to watch.
They have lots of
Award
concessions
show,
being sold.
pro tournament only.
Like ruin your thing there, but
you're making huge bucks off of concessions.
But it's not going to happen, right? So I can, if I live in California and I want to go watch you guys practice, I go watch you guys practice. So there's no protection. You guys are so easily accessible. It's not like suddenly the Dallas Cowboys are playing the Detroit Lions in my backyard. I could go watch you play any weekend, right? You guys sometimes play with us. You know what I mean?
I mean, but a tournament,
Legends, I might see you.
It's like Manchester United playing Barcelona in the United States. They crush.
Yeah, but you and I can't just go to the Manchester United field and go, hey, can I jump a point with you guys? And they're like, yeah, totally. We don't have anybody in right now.
Yeah.
Whereas we go to ASG and we're just kind of old news. People don't even say hi to us anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you guys have good accessibility, which is a good thing on some side, but it decreases your value, right? As far as people coming out to see you. I mean, I'm interested. That is one of the things that I've asked people that, like, if we did a pro-only event, how many people would buy tickets to come watch? I think the number would be disturbing.
Yeah, it's not many people. I don't think many
It'd be
people.
depressing. It would be depressing.
So the one thing I would have done different, though, instead of having it be a finals, I would have done an exhibition match, and I would have put Dynasty in it and told FRAIGE to just go crazy, just be as entertaining as possible, and just have a very, very entertaining, so people are just like, whoa, what is that? Well, let me look more into it after that. That's where I would have gone.
So to be honest, we pitched an exhibition type thing initially because the original contract, like I said, had us delivering it before it was due, right? Before we even filmed it. So they were adamant against anything that wasn't real because of the emotions. You know, like, I mean, you see the, Aftershock losing, right? You can tell they just lost. You can tell the Russians just won, right? An exhibition match, no one's going to care, and that would come across in the players' emotions, because that's one of the things people want. They want to know that you care about what you're doing.
Right. For storytelling, it's so important.
So, and then me picking someone who was going to go play. Could you imagine if after all this works and I'll just go straight evil and I'm like, oh yeah, we made it to ESPN. Appreciate everybody's hard work. We're going to do an exhibition with Impact and Heat. You know what I mean? Like, no matter which way I went with that, it's going to get, you know what I mean? Problems. Yep. I mean, going into that event, you guys didn't even make it to Sunday, right? So I'm not taking a shot, but could you me telling everybody that we got Dynasty playing in it because they're more famous than you, even though the last event they didn't even make it to Sunday?
Famous fame, baby.
Famous, yeah. If Dynasty ain't playing, nobody playing.
Ratings is good for the sport.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, think of it on the flip side, though. Imagine if you had Damage and X Factor in the finals, and it was a 1-0 game. Like, what would you have done? What would have been your consolation plan had the field not been as entertaining? And it actually slowed down quite a bit, but had it been like a Sunshine State series open where there was a 1-0 game that went to overtime, what was your backup plan there?
So you want to know my backup plan? And I don't think anyone else knows. We would have just went to another footage from another tournament. Just put that on there if it was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
People would have lost their minds when I'm like,
World Cup.
I'm sorry, Damage, you didn't make the cut because you played 1 point. Yeah, and that's a challenge, right? That's one of the things that concerns me. I'm obviously always pitching some format that I believe is going to force people to make moves and kind of keep that going. And I always get all this kickback, and then we get to a situation where we're like, this might drastically affect us. Maybe we should do an exhibition. If the game itself isn't what people want to watch, then we need to change the game, right?
Yeah.
And then, that's and maybe like in a draconian world, we're not, we would come up with a new format that's just for TV or something. It's guaranteed you guys are going to move.
Verb, what do you think about a format that's made just for TV? How do you feel about the format right now? I mean, you arguably watch just as much paintball as Maddie, which is the more paintball than anybody does. What and then you're out actually more paintball than Maddie because you're out of the field every single weekend too. What would you say is something that could change the format or change that the sport could use to promote on TV or make it more watchable?
So I like things like, I don't know, I like the shot clock idea. I think that one's pretty good because it'd make those quick points and the comebacks would be sick is what I was thinking. But I know that those are tough because there's the scoreboard just never wants to cooperate, which is a frustration I've had at every paintball tournament I've been to, which is, I don't know, we need some new technology or something there to, I don't know, I feel like we could get someone on, we could get someone on Fiverr to develop something that'll hold up better than what we have. But I mean, I like it a lot. Like, I mean, when you break things down to like the core level, which I like to do, like I like watching videos, so I shoot video. I like paintball, so I get a front row seat to watch paintball. So I don't know. I think the current format's pretty good. I mean, sure, we will have some slow ones, but for the most part, they're I don't know. I enjoy watching them.
So no changes. Just kind of keep rolling with it. We feel like
scoreboard.
Change the scoreboard.
Yeah. Well, do the 2 points under a minute or something like that.
Yeah, I really like that.
I think that's the best idea. I don't know, and I still like 4 pods. I think 4 pods in a loader has been tested and tried and true. And I don't think the paint companies will suffer too much because you'll just go out and shoot your 4 pods and load up the 4 pods again and more points.
Mm-hmm.
So
it'll force the people that don't shoot a lot of paint normally to shoot more paint during the game because they need to make up for the other guys.
Right. And so the internet as a whole says that we have too many paintballs, and they want people to have like 200 paintballs. So I'm like, I don't think you understand the game. Well, clearly they don't understand the game, but it's like, there are some people are like, well, they should have 30 paintballs, and I'm like, well, we did that for
Someone said 3v3 MagFed, which is actually kind of funny. They said that because Tom, I remember walking in on a little bit of a powwow meeting, or maybe I was just invited to it. I'm not sure. One of the two, or I just sat down. Where you guys were coming up with new ways to like what the masses might want. You guys are like, we should just do this huge CQB, create like a scenario field in a stadium, kind of similarly to how you guys they do monster truck jams or something like that. Fill a stadium up with dirt, and make this cool looking like war zone essentially, and play that, because there's so many people involved in Call of Duty and Fortnite and those other kind of realistic type games that's more relatable.
Yeah, I mean, I think like if you were scrolling through the channels and you saw what we have, people think it's silly, right? Because we shoot a lot, we waste a lot, we don't move. They think of like a movie, right? And they're a guy there's got 20 rounds. I think a military guy right now carries 200 rounds or something along those lines, right? So, so they want it to be more like that, and just the look of it. You know what I mean? It's like it's obviously cool to see people storming a building, right? Some of the most. The number one video game is a war video game. The number one movie is almost always a war movie, right? So we're built for that. And so, yes, if people tuned in and saw something like that happening, I think they would like it. And they'd be more apt to stop and watch it. But, I mean, I think what we have is also compelling, right? Like, I think it appeals to two different kinds of people, to be honest with you. But I do think the Milsim version of it would be cool. I mean, if you played on a Mounds Field, that was my pitch, right? That was my idea. Like, I think the Mounds Field captures a lot of what we have in X-Ball, and it makes it spectator friendly, but it still gives it that war-torn look that appeals to the regular consumer. Basically a Call of Duty map.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think we should film a pilot and go to Geo's Park, SC Village, and film a pilot and go do it.
I mean, I've always been an advocate for testing the new format out, which is, for some reason, the league owners don't like doing that. And
Who doesn't like doing that?
I don't know. Every time that we have to shoot a different rate of fire, or we have a new rule or version. I mean, luckily we did
test.
So
the problem is, the league owners, you mean other people. I think I'm constantly pitching new formats.
Yeah, we're pitching them. We're not. We only have tested, and that I can recall.
So we did a 7-3 thing, which I thought the internet was going to universally lynch me.
What's the 7-3 thing?
The format we did at World Cup last year.
Oh yeah.
So I think we need to do more, right? We can't mess with the core product. That's the basic gist, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we have is magnificent, right? It's evolved to this point with the help of the teams and Jason and everybody that's kind of been involved in it. We have created this great product, right, for the current customer base. We just need to kind of research. There's now a new customer base, which is the casual observer. And now we need to kind of create a product for them, because there's a lot of nuances to paintball that we all appreciate. For sure. But the casual guy does not understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just kind of need to make sure that we are working towards both goals there. Go ahead.
And that's why the big field helps a lot, so we can show some of this stuff, because people have no idea like where the paint is. So all the changes for getting a brighter ball and then being able to show it, like, because any park you go to, most of the speedball fields I go to are pretty, the nets are pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, yeah, you can go back there, but you just get obliterated. And, with, $20,000 camera, you're not, it's not ideal. There's quite a few repairs as is. But so I have a fun stat that I found on the internet, and I don't know how much truth there is to it, but they say we just dump paint and just waste so many rounds. But this says that in Iraq and Afghanistan, it was estimated for every insurgent killed, 250,000 rounds were used.
Wow.
That's like what? Like,
sheesh.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I can see that, because you're probably talking about like just all the practice stuff.
No, they're talking about in combat. When they shoot in combat, I don't know if you ever watch those guys, but they typically shoot without aiming. A lot of the Army and Marine guys, right? They just
watch them in real, like
suppressive fire.
I mean,
yeah, well, it's not even suppressive fire. They're just shooting it. They don't see each other. The distances are pretty large, so they don't really see what's going on. They just know rounds are coming in from that coordinate and they just shoot back at that coordinate.
Not sure you guys know, but Tom fought in both World War I and World War II. So he's pretty well versed on how many rounds are shot.
I did a little volunteering in the Civil War.
And then after that, he played on Bad Company, where he also didn't really get to shoot many people either. Lots of rounds wasted.
Huh?
Said lots of rounds wasted over the past century.
Yeah, I've definitely wasted some rounds for sure. For sure.
I mean, that's actually an interesting stat too, you know, because what I like. I don't even know how you quantify it, but that's also another great little data. I think they did it on one of the shows back in the day where they were like, oh, you know, we checked their shot, like there was like a shot counter on the thing. It's like these guys are shooting.
Yeah, that would have been the NPPL back in the day.
It was, right?
The fake board inside your gun. But think about it. So how many rounds do you all carry, right? So each one of y'all has what, 1,000 rounds?
Yeah, I mean 7 pods.
So that means, you know, you guys are carrying
around 1,000,
70,000 rounds to shoot 9 people at the most.
70,000 rounds to shoot 9 people. I'm missing some math here.
You have 10 people, right?
Right. So I got that.
1,000 rounds. I guess that's 10,000 rounds. My bad. Math has never been my strong suit.
It's all right. So okay. And then I'm only shooting 9 guys?
Well, there's only 9 guys getting shot, right? There has to be 1 person left alive. The most you could shoot at a point is 9 people.
We're talking about 10 man now. We're talking about 10 man. We're talking about 10 man now.
No, we're talking about, so one team doesn't always eliminate everybody. If you played AC Diesel and it was a close game, you would be alive.
Yeah.
4 Dynasty guys would be dead.
You're talking about, okay, I was thinking about me and my team. Okay, so on the field at any point in time, each team.
Yes,
okay.
I understand.
I was like, man, I'm only playing against 5 guys, so I just got to shoot 5 of them.
Imagine Ryan only seeing it from his point of view.
Our team's point of view, yeah. I was just trying to go with a whole budget
like
for
I played
Dynasty.
for Dynasty. I can be like, and now you got me sidetracked. But I mean, how many shots did it take to kill Bin Laden, right? How many people did they kill in there, right? 38 shots or something.
Right. Yeah,
right?
And Brian made a good point. It's like a lot of it's suppressive fire, like what we're doing. You know, we're shooting to stop people from moving so that my guy in front can go make a move to eliminate a player.
Yeah.
So, but I guess where this topic even kind of was spawned from was we need to be able to explain and show why and how that's happening. It's like seeing an open man running in football. It's like, why didn't he throw it to that guy? It's because there's somebody guarding him. And if the camera's only on the guy that's open and you can never see the defender, people are going to be like, why is this guy not getting the ball?
Yeah.
Another thing is filming from the same camera side or camera angle always, I think was one thing for continuity wise that I think was something that was pitched back in the day, so that it's not like just constantly changing camera angles.
Yeah, that's a real thing to always film to the same side, because then if you rotate it, the people switch sides.
Yeah, so I mean, is there someone else that just jumped in? Oh no, never mind. Yeah, so I mean, like we're looking at right now for a bunch of the stuff. You know, definitely should have tried to get some bunkering. I think bunkering would have been a big sell.
We needed hype with it too. We needed Maddie to go crazy. Like, have you ever any of y'all ever watched the F1 race and listened to Crofty like commentate that? That man will get you so hyped and like you can't even believe. Like you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm pumped up from this.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I'm starting to realize, right? Like what we're trying to do as far as like Maddie, right? So a football commentator might do 3 hours as a long commentator. You know, we're asking Maddie to do 36 hours.
Yeah.
Commentating, you know what I mean? So, and then when we need him at his best is at the very end of that.
It's when he's
yeah,
totally tired.
You know,
with and talk for the 5-minute breaks and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, you know,
although this was post-production.
Yeah, we need Maddie to give the color.
It's hard to be excited in post-production, right? Unless you're an actor, right? Like it's another thing seeing it live and kind of being excited about it. So, There was something else I was going to say there. It is interesting though, like when we went to the filming of all the other shows, right, that was going on. Everyone else is just basically filming their championship match, right? So no one else has got, another 300 teams there and another 12 fields, and they're really just dedicated on that match. You know what I mean? Or that couple hours of play. They're not trying to capture 3 days of a tournament and kind of do that, right? Like we went to the axe throwing or the darts. I remember the darts specifically. They had they did a quarterfinal round, which was 2 guys, and then the winner of that went on to face the main guy. And that was the end of it. And that was the only people there. There was 3 people, 3 contestants. It'd be sort of like us just taking the top 8, in which I think we pitched that was the original idea behind the Champions Cup, was kind of just take that. But we have so many challenges in the way we traditionally have done the sport and the way we've gotten used to it that it's hard to make these changes. Some of them.
What would you say? Where would you say, as far as the shows that have been on TV in the past, where would you rank this one amongst those? Do you think it's the top of the litter, or do you think there have been better productions in the past?
I think some of the Super 7 stuff was good. But I think this is the best one. I have not seen the Ultimate Madness 3-man TV show thing. I tried to find that the other day. So I don't know what the production value of that was. But I mean, in their defense, technology's come a long way since any of those people filmed. But yeah, I think this was good. I think it's better than anything we've ever done. And it's also probably it's not a time buy. So a lot of those
that's huge.
Yeah, those other ones were time buys. So
Verb, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the graphics and stuff made it next level.
Right.
Way cooler. Like that's technology that we have now that we can do. So I think that's super cool. But it does, we just need to tell the stories, which is like what I've been trying to do with Fit. Make people care about you guys off the field and stuff like that. So it make it relatable too. Like, what did you go through in your day today? Like, I can definitely relate with you right now with little babies and trying to deal with these crazy kids. And I think that being relatable adds a whole lot to it.
So do you think that a better type of fit for a show, and again, this is based on what the network wants and what network is going to give us time to show, because that was kind of my pitch too, but do you think that paintball is best served with one of those type of mixed reality type shows, or a live element if it were an hour long to go a little bit more in depth into each person on a post-production side? Because I think what they're gearing towards, or what we're trying to accomplish, is figure out a way to efficiently make a live production of this. Is that something that you guys are going to try to shoot for, or is it always going to be planned for post-production?
So, there's, all right, so we'll give you 2 problems. So one, I think as a community, we came out to watch this show, right? Mm-hmm. But at some point in time, and everybody's watching because it's cool factor, we love paintball and yada, 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 right? But if we did this for 2 years and we post-produced every tournament after the fact and aired it on ESPN, the drive would go down because we've already seen who won. We already know there's no drama. You know what I mean? We already know who's going to win. So that factor is going to go away. So, and if you think back, that's what the original NXL ran into. That's why it did it behind a blackout, right? No one knew who won, and no one saw the footage because they were trying to sell it to TV post-produced, so everybody would have to watch it to find out who actually won the tournament. And so that's the first problem, right? That I just think viewership would go down natively if we kept showing the same stuff after the fact. So we have to either post-produce something and keep it a secret who won, or we need to go live. And all of the money is in live. Because, and I'll give you an example. So we could have sold, we had 2 commercials. We had 4 commercials. We only used 2 of them, right? And don't get into me about that. But anyhow, we had 2 commercials and we used it for paintball, right? Because we didn't know the time slot until like a week before the show. And the only time the commercials make it in it is the first airing. right? So that's why live sports is so much more powerful, because you're guaranteed as an advertiser to get that consumer when you want them. It does no good to see, a commercial for something that's now out of business when you watch it 3 weeks later, you know what I mean, or whatever. They want that time sensitive viewer. So live sports is still where the money's at. And so that's why, to me, the drive is always to do live sports. Plus, it's compelling, right? Like you would have watched it, you missed watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you might have watched it if you didn't know who won, and it was going to affect your life in the future, who you were going to play in the next event, or how they played it, or whatever. So I think live is the necessary evil that we got to start working towards. And just in some of the challenges that happens with live, we need to start practicing with and dealing with. And I'll tell a story, and I even used you as my example of how people would kirk out. So during the dart tournament, Jason Trozen, their version of Jason Trozen, is basically on a mic to the ESPN people and the producers, right? And so they're playing a race to 9. This is for the championship on ESPN. And in the middle of the commercial break, the guy's like, hey, we're now going to race to 5. It's 2-2. And he basically says, next point, sudden death. So they kind of go back, the two little athletes or dart throwers, whatever they are, go back to their people, and they talk about it for a second. They come back out, and then Jason's like, actually, we're going to go to 7 right now. So we're going to play race to 7. And I'm just like, could you imagine me walking over and explaining it to you and Todd Adamson that we are, suddenly it's sudden death, and then, no, by the way, no, we're going to...
It's not compelling enough, because let's just get this over with.
If Dynasty wins this point, then we're now going to go to 7. You know what I mean? It's just, it's, and that stuff we need to practice with if we're going to go live, right? We need to deal with those controversies and kind of have something in place to fix that.
Well, yeah, that's, I mean, I guess you kind of have to, once you're solidified, they're not going to, stop mid-game sort of things. But if it's the pilot, they might be like, look, this isn't working. We're going to
Well, I don't know how, so they obviously have to cut stuff out, right? Because there's only some sports that have that extended time slot, the flexible time slot. A lot of sports are not. They're just between 7 and 8. So they would either cut it off at that point when you're going live or whatever. I mean, the original NFL had that problem, right? They were like, they were not going to cut into bowling. They were getting rid of those guys. I actually saw a show about that where they were like, yeah, we went to the Carol Burnett show or something right in the middle of the Super Bowl. So I think we need to practice with live, and our goal needs to always be live while making cool post-produced stuff. Because the post-produced stuff is also like an education tool, right? We need to educate the consumers and the viewers about what they're watching so that we can create fans. And then once we have fans, then they're gonna teach the other people how to do it. Mm-hmm. But we need that angel group to start kind of be interested in it.
For sure. I mean, and one thing to point out on that, it's just, I guess, to be the devil's advocate and contradict what you're saying about you would lose viewership if people didn't already knew who won, is the greatest example of that is that Drive to Survive show, which is what I've been saying is the move from the get-go, but there you're not showing it on a network that has commercials. I guess you're pitching that to a streaming service, but everybody knows who wins.
But the people watching Drive to Survive are the casual viewer that doesn't really know who's going to win. And so the Drive to Survive, though, is an advertisement for Formula One.
Sure.
And the goal of it is to create people to watch Formula One, mm-hmm. right? But Formula One is already a televised sport. It does no good for us to create people to watch paintball if we don't have a place to drive them where they can go to. But I think
you do, though. You have a platform. It's Go Sports.
Yeah.
It's like if you build it, they will come, right? We need to promote it any way and chance we can.
Parts.
Right.
Yeah, we need both parts.
Either way would work. It's just whoever's going to bite on it, I think, is what.
The UFC is kind of already going down that path, right? The guys from UFC are trying to make the behind-the-scenes story show.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they had the UFC a litlt bit before, but that Ultimate Fighter show kind of really blew that up. But I think we talked about this before. The relatable side of it, what you were saying, Verb, is you definitely want to be relatable, but you also want to have something that's unattainable. I think what's important is when you show the sport, which is also why I'm glad you didn't show the prize money check, but you want to make it seem like what these guys are doing is so cool and almost unattainable, but that there's also something, there's a peak at the top that someone would really want to be a part of. If it's like, if you showed them a check of $5,000 at the end and you're like, hold on, let me count how many guys there are. Is that each? Is that a joke? Is it $500 a person they're getting after all of this? So a lot of us can relate to being underpaid, but you know, you want to make this, you want to create something that's like, holy shit, these guys just won $1 million. I didn't really care about paintball at all, but now I do.
Yeah, but look at the World Poker Tour, right?
Yeah.
So they give away huge prize packages, right? Mm-hmm. But one of the joys of the World Poker Tour is I believe most laymen at home believe they could do it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's some sports that grow because anybody can do it, right? Mm-hmm. Like the cornhole's tagline is anyone can play, anyone can win. Mm-hmm. The NFL does not have that tagline, right? So it's whether the sport is trying to be just a self-fulfilling entertainment or whether it is a sport that is trying to be participant-based with an entertainment at the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're more like fishing, golf, cornhole, and poker because these are all things people can do on their own, but then also we compete and play professionally. Football, you know, there's not a lot of people day parties going out to play football. Now there is high school football and collegiate football or whatever, but it's not like a recreational sport that a lot of people do on a regular basis. So basketball, I guess, would kind of be a blend of both. But the NBA is not trying to get more people to play basketball necessarily. They're trying to get more people to watch basketball.
Oh, well, yeah.
And so now they do believe that the more people that play basketball become fans, which is, you know, the same thing with paintball. But our core thing is to get more people playing paintball via watching paintball. So it's like a circular thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I guess it's kind of your the chicken and the egg. You know, it's like which one do you kind of put forth first to get there.
Well, I'm chasing the chicken while cooking the egg.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will see. I think things are going to move fast here in the next year or so, right? I think it's going to be. Like I said, GoPro reached out us just out of the blue. I think Hertz got great representation. That was probably one of the better moves around the tournament was that the Hertz bunker. The preliminary reviews from the TV guys that it was great and that the viewership was good. Mm-hmm. So they haven't given me any definitive, but I think we're going to have something pretty compelling here going into next year. So then hopefully you can get your money.
Well, that... Yeah, I've been waiting for that big TV deal for about 20 years now. I think from what I've heard, the majority of the times that paintball has been on TV, with the exception of the Mohegan Sun event, I've heard that the networks were happy with it. I've heard that it was like they got great ratings and people watched it, and there were shows that were on, you know, prime time. I think the Fox Sports News, or sorry, it's Fox Sports. Not news. It was the Fox Sports one. Beyond the Paint, Extreme Paintball, Beyond the Paint. They did 2 seasons where one was, I know one of them was in the Atlantic City event, which is funny. But like what they did is they filmed the entire tournament, and each episode was a new round in the tournament featuring a team which had a player that was represented. So if, say, there was 8 events, you know, John Richardson was one of the featured players, so they made sure to show a couple of infamous matches. You know, and then they followed John Richardson around for a day to show his life behind the scenes. That was actually a really cool.
Remember that Impact series? Something like that would be kind of cool.
Yep, and then there's that one, and then there was the Miami one. I think Miami MPPL event, I think, was my favorite to watch. I think that for the technology they had, I mean, at one point Oliver was running around with a backpack with batteries and a camera attached to it. You remember that thing, Tom?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it was huge. That was his barrel cam. Was this like he looked like he had a Ghostbuster. He was fighting ghosts, and I think for the way that was filmed and the way that the camera angles were done, and Maddie commentated that one as well. And
I think Maddie's commentated all of them.
Everyone, yeah, he did Mohegan Sun with Billy Gardner, but that was a cool produced show. I thought that one was great. They had great camera angles. They had the little dots on the screen to show where the paintballs were being shot.
I think that's the one that I decided that they decided before the event even happened that Ali was going to be the hero of that event. Like, he got all the coverage, got everything.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah. So I was like, that's interesting.
So two more questions, Tom, before you You can bail if you want.
Thank you. No, I
so
need
you
to
can
go.
antsy.
Today
I
is
know.
moving day.
So this one's a good. This is a good one. And just came in from Philip Middleton. But what are all the advancements and translate to the end user? Being, is there gonna be prize monies, bigger, cheaper entries? Like in the event that there's a big show deal, hypothetically, and how do name NIL rights work in there?
I'm shooting for take the money and run.
Yeah, that's you should. It's been a long time coming. Run NPPL South Africa.
All right, so we've got a big South African. Botswana's where we're basing everything out of.
Come find me.
And I've said this before, like our sport's just inherently expensive the way we do it, right? Like everything that we do that we like about the game is just expensive to run, right? We try and do large events, and we try and whatever. We got lots of bodies, and we got lots of stuff going on. So, but if let's just assume we're breaking even, right? Let's say we're making $1 above break even. No one's gonna believe that, but we're close to that point. If suddenly we got $500,000 in TV rights, right? That money's gonna get disseminated down in multiple ways. One, obviously the pros are gonna start garnering more money because they are the product to some level, right? At that point. And so their money would go up. And then that would also mean that the desire to be pro would go up, and that will allow us to have more money to subsidize and do stuff further down. Are they going to see any quick fixes? Probably not. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, here's my proposal. I don't know. I've seen a lot of numbers thrown around for how much that production costs. We could have just done it like a Go Sports presentation. It have saved all the money, hired me for like a year and a half, and we just get the views to go crazy.
What do you think the production cost? Did you hear that number?
I don't know. The number that's thrown around is 150,000. So I have no idea.
Just shy of that, probably. Just shy of that. But that was using Go Sports, so we did use Go Sports.
Ah, right. Okay, right.
So that's
obviously
using their directors and all their staff, and we probably could have went with Go Sports to begin with. I feel like internally in paintball we have enough video IQ on that. I just really wanted someone from the outside that had experience with ESPN and knowing what they want to direct the show, because I think we get a little tunnel vision sometimes in what we want paintball to be, and I wanted someone without an opinion in it to kind of help make the show with some advice from us. But that was kind of the goal. So I felt 138 was relatively cheap. I think the smart parts, the Mohegan Suns thing, was $800,000 all in. So.
Oh, what a blunder! Gosh, what a bag fumble right there.
For a year, we could get
company went out of business.
Way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
They still owe us money.
2 billion
Paintball
views
Fit's
on
already
Paintball.
hired you. I'd have to steal you for Paintball Fit, and that would be unethical.
No, that's fine. They don't. We there's room for talks always.
There's room for talks. There's room for talks.
Yeah, we got.
I mean, if
2
Bird's
billion.
production end game is anything like his studio, it is just how he looks right now.
I know.
Pay this man.
Like,
So,
think
all right, so you had a
stories.
second question, so I can get out of the hot seat?
Yeah, sorry. Whatever happened with your Netflix meeting back in the day? Why was there some sort of like
That is a good one.
BS about?
Yeah, so
because I meant to text you about that guy just randomly the other day. His name came up, and I kind of wanted to, but I'll leave that to a side chat.
So, I think I've said the story on the show, but anyhow, so I drove like 12 hours to go for a theoretical meeting with ESPN, right? So if anybody believes that I skipped a meeting, because there's a rumor out there that I skipped a meeting, that I ghosted a Netflix meeting.
I think one of your other fans on a different YouTube network channel might have said something about that.
Yeah, so the rumor is that I skipped a Netflix meeting just because, I don't know. I have no possible reason why someone would think that I skipped a Netflix meeting. But I drove 12 hours to just theoretically meet a person from ESPN, just in the hopes that we would get something on TV. So the Netflix thing is just made up, and the people that are involved in that know it's made up, so they can reach out to me directly. We can do it. I mean, because basically it's a person that we had that was helping us consult, and I did one Zoom call with him, and he's like, I have a guy from Netflix, and he did this other show on Netflix, and I get there, and it's like the cousin of the brother of the guy that did the Netflix show, and I'm like, no. That's not the guy. So yeah, so I kind of.
So the guy didn't get you a deal? Like there was no deal with the thing, or he just didn't have. It was
no juice. There's no juice.
Just no juice.
There's no juice.
So you drove 12 hours. So you live in Tennessee.
I live in Alabama.
Alabama. It's the same kind of network.
Yeah.
Okay, and you drove. Let's see what's in the radius there. You drove to Tennessee.
I drove to the axe throwing championships. So I saw that the axe throwing championships was being filmed by ESPN. So I bought an ESPN viewing ticket and drove there, and then waited till I saw a person with an ESPN shirt, just went up to him and said, I am the president of Major League Paintball, and I think ESPN needs paintball. And he said, I agree completely. And then that week we had some emails go back and forth. So
you see that, guys?
That's the true story.
That's how it gets done.
That I would skip a Zoom call is pretty astronomical. It's just silly, you know what I mean? What possible reason would I not want us on Netflix? Like I'm an Amazon Prime guy, so I don't want to see us on Netflix. I mean, it's just ludicrous.
Sorry, I have to go on the Spick Span Show. I'm not going to be able to take that Zoom call.
Yeah, I just had some prior arrangements,
There's
guys.
really nothing that I was going to skip a meeting with Netflix for. You know what I mean? So yeah. And if that was
appreciate you coming on the show instead of doing that.
Netflix deal to someone else and crushed us with it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you. I know you cleared it up. I know you didn't skip a meeting, but it's good that people who hear the misinformation can understand, because not everybody tunes into the Spick Span Show every Tuesday at 4 p.m. We wish you did.
You are going to Will Ball for Soup for your news, right? You got problems, right? If that's where you're getting your evidence from. I mean, it's like there are people just not going to like me, and there's people just not going to like the league, right? It doesn't matter what we do, right? They're gonna say bad stuff about everything we do. Even, I mean, they're probably secretly mad that we got on ESPN.
There's 6% of the people who voted. There's 177 votes. 6% of those people did not like the show. That's about 10 of them, I think.
So it's fine not liking the show. I don't blame people for not liking the show. I think there are people that are mad that we got the show successful.
No,
there's people that want to just talk gloom and doom just because they don't matter. I'm going to get in trouble now. They don't matter, and they want to matter, and the only way to matter is to have everything get exploded so they can be important.
All right.
We had that discussion the other day on the phone.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
I agree with that. Drama gets more clicks, man.
That's what I'm saying. I will create drama for clicks instead of I will ball for soup.
Oh, Eggs is in here.
Mad at me when I say that, but
speaking of Eggs, I was thinking, he should have got Quentin Tarantino to direct his HORMESIS movie. That would really...
Alex, I admit it. I said I worked for Netflix and pretended Tom stood me up.
I would have met with Alex. There's no way I'm skipping a meeting with Alex.
That's good to know. All right, Tom, I'll let you go because you seem antsy. Your dog's hungry. You're hungry.
I have to move tomorrow.
You got to put your dinner in the microwave.
Because my wife is the person that makes all the money in this household. So when she gets a new job and she moves, I move.
Well, luckily you're good. Luckily you're good at driving for long distances. So
I am good at driving long distances. There is no doubt about that.
Well, I'm also glad that we got you on here with our new technology, so you can call with the Zoom, so we don't have to see your shower curtain in the background.
I thought this was amazing. You guys are taking great steps. Great steps.
You guys heard, we'll get that tagline up. Can you put this? The Spick Span Show is amazing.
Taking great steps.
Yeah.
Slippery steps.
Yeah. I think I said it's amazing you're taking great steps. So, well, it's
that could be like misconstrued as like it's really nice to see that you guys have been taking good big steps. Not like the show's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys have been.
Yeah.
You got to figure out where you put that comma. Did you put a comma somewhere in there?
It's like, yeah, like it's unique. It's interesting.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Tom.
Guys.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Verbal.
All right, Verb. What else you got for us?
Oh.
I sent the Zoom link to Alex. We'll see if he.
Okay.
He did say the show sucks, so.
I'll take a look for him. So, I mean, anything else that you think that I know that I believe that you guys all should have been consulted on it, and why not? Like, hey guys, what do you think? Even just for like a couple of just quick little this is and that's.
Right. Well, like I told you in the message, my ultimate goal is to make paintball something cool. So, I will give advice on something like that, on how it could have been better, or how to shoot it properly for that kind of thing. But I didn't even get a call. So.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it makes you better. They didn't call me either.
Right? Movie man.
Yeah, the movie man.
What up?
Did you do your Zoom call with Quentin Tarantino, or you skipped that for the HORMESIS?
Oh yeah, no, I blew that off. Quentin Tarantino called me. He said he wanted to make a major motion picture. His actually his final film. He wanted to do it about paintball, but I didn't call him back.
It's fine.
Yeah. So whatever. Anyway, yeah, no, I enjoyed the show. Did you guys critique it at all? I just tuned in.
What did you think of the show?
Empire Strikes Back was on, so I got to admit I didn't really watch it. But no, I'm just kidding. I did watch it. I liked it. I thought it hurt that the commercials and Tom's feature sort of broke up the match, and also they cut out a bunch of points, so they were unable to really develop a drama. And they didn't include any jawing or complaining from the players. I feel like that's compelling, showing the passion. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but I think overall it did a pretty good job of showing some good highlights. I think a lot of the gameplay stuff was really difficult to understand, as it always is in paintball. The graphics were nice, other than the bar. So you had the what do they call that? Where all the sports stats are going along the bottom of the screen, where it's scrolling by.
The lower third.
The ticker.
No.
Yeah, ticker maybe.
Banner.
Whatever the banner that's going, or the ticker that's going along the bottom with other stuff not related to the show. So you got that going on down there, and then they decided to put the body count on top, and it was each guy's headshot. It was just a lot to look at when they were trying to show the game, and a lot of the action stuff was up in that upper quadrant of the screen, and you couldn't see it because that graphic was there. But overall, I mean, I think that the pro announcer did a great job. I think Maddie did a great job. It sounded super polished and very professional, and really did look great in between the one wheel championships and the tire wrestling. I mean, it blew those two things out of the water from a production value standpoint. Even though I do want to play you did you watch the car wrestling, Ryan?
I didn't see. I've seen it.
Karjitsu?
Karjitsu. I've seen it.
Karjitsu. We got to do that, dude. I'm going to fuck you up.
We've done it before.
I know.
You've never won.
Well, in theirs, you weren't allowed to use the seatbelt as a noose.
No, you can use it. Maybe they just didn't.
No.
I used to tie his ass up. We would tie Alex up.
All right, bro.
He'd be like, "Dude, let me go." His arms are stuck.
I've seen it on Instagram where they're allowed to use the seatbelt.
That was Deadpool and Wolverine. That scene there.
I want to see that.
I just watched it last night.
I was supposed to go tonight. I think I'm gonna go tomorrow. Let's talk about this.
House of the Dragons?
No. Let's talk about this comment. We need to stop kissing Tom's feet for doing nothing and literally not only dismissing the paintball community, but before he just left, shitting on anyone who disagreed with him.
Am I part of the paintball community?
I think so. I think we all are. I'd like this kid to elaborate on
who said that.
Burgers for days. Seems I like burgers.
Show yourself, burgers for days.
Show yourself. Yeah. Put your real name up there, Burger Boy.
Prove it. Prove you're part of the paintball community, Burger.
Yeah.
Burger.
Upload a photo of yourself.
Show yourself.
Yeah.
His feet.
Yeah, kissing his feet.
Look, Tom's doing his best, man, just like all of us.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think.
And a lot of us disagree with him all the time, and he listens to us.
Yeah. And so does Jason Trozen, and I actually really do appreciate that. These guys care about wanting to make things better, and Jason is adamant about going through. He'll take you in there and show footage specifically to make sure that the call wasn't bad or whatever
Hey, look,
it was. You know,
we can speak to this because we were around for many of Tom's and Jason's predecessors, and believe me, these guys are way better than it could be. So
I agree.
yeah, I think we're in the best hands that we've ever been in, at least since I've been playing paintball for the past, I don't know, 1,200 years.
So I think Tom has an impossible job because he's balancing two very different things right now. Because one, the league is a traveling circus and they need signups. Like, name me an event you can go to and watch the pros play and absolute beginners play in the same weekend, and I can't think of any. And then at the same time trying to progress the pro game and get these television deals and stuff. So I think those are, I mean, yes, it'll help. One will help the other, but yeah, it makes it really hard.
well, for sure. You know, you're trying to pitch a deal to ESPN. Okay. You're also answering personal emails from people like Burger Boy, who has a problem because Tom's email is on there. Then you're also trying to make sure to figure out, you got to go meet with the venue to make sure that they are like going to be okay with us ruining their grass. Then you got to fly to another venue. It's kind of a one-man show. And so, like, I mean, it's undeniable, that they need more help. Okay.
It's like working in public service, man. You can't win.
It is.
Like
I think
the
with a
DMV?
little less corruption.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Department of Public Works.
Yeah.
The bums are shitting on the sidewalk again. Somebody come clean it up.
And yeah, I think the sideline interviews, Lauren Kelly or some other
Isaac.
host.
And I'll tell you this: they could cut together probably an hour-long show with no commercials that really does a good job of it, because they have it all. You know, it's not like what we saw is all they have. I mean, I was over there. They probably did, I don't know, 15, 20 interviews in between points. And there's some good ones in there because I was watching what the guy said. You know, it's sweat dripping on their face. They had a little passion. They were doing their best to, keep their composure. There was some real, relatable moments, I feel like, that weren't included in the show just because of time, right? They only have 20 minutes of time to show what they want to show. But if you wanted to do, a proper cut for obviously not television, because I don't think that's, something like that isn't compelling enough for a broad audience. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. I just know that they have the content to work with if they wanted to recut something more interesting.
And they are, right? So they're producing. They're going to cut together a longer format version. So there's gonna be a few versions of the finals coming out. Go Sports has also changed the website to there's MajorLeaguePaintball.com. So I believe that they've all kind of merged at this point. So.
Sounds like the Illuminati to me.
Yeah, it sounds pretty suspicious, right? That's
conspiracy for
Here's,
sure.
here's a strange one. They changed the name of the event for the ESPN show.
To what?
If you go to the NXL website, it was the Mid-Atlantic Major, but for the ESPN show, it was the Atlantic City Open. Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, well, that's, I mean, I don't feel like it would.
What sounds cooler?
Well, I don't feel like either one's more compelling. I mean, everyone's still.
I think Atlantic City Open sounds way cooler than Mid-Atlantic Major. That's just
Mid-Atlantic or the Mid-Atlantic Open would be cool.
Mid-Atlantic anything is just it's.
Where is that?
Yeah, it is like
where is?
It's not Mid-Atlantic. It is Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like midway from the ocean.
They need to bring Vagar down there and
they do need to do that.
Start over
and wash out the sins.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, I need to watch that one.
What was the other dragon's name that roasted everybody?
What?
What was the other dragon's name that actually Verbal's doppelganger's riding now?
Oh, Verminax?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is Verbal. Verbal is in that show. I'm thinking the same thing.
Hey, yo, what's that one dragon's name?
It's Vermilax.
No.
Veritimidex.
One that roasted everybody.
I thought that
Yeah,
was
that's
bait.
Vermithor.
Verminax, yeah, Vermithor.
Vermithor.
Verbal Thor.
Verbal
They need to bring
Thor.
Vermithor down to Atlantic City.
Ryan has 30 minutes left of that episode. I was like, you could just probably call it.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to bang it out.
Well, good for them, man. Good for them for getting it on there and turning it around, and good for Bart for throwing down some cheddar to do it. I mean, you know, I feel like, yeah, probably could have done something different or something more, or something less, but they did something.
Yeah.
They did something, and they did it in a very tight window. I think Moffat and I think Verb, you said the same thing. Like, being able to produce that type of show with that much content in that short of window was kind of like, was pretty impressive.
Seemed pretty quick. Turnaround.
And at the end of the day, like, they didn't really know what the GoPro footage was going to look like until they did it. And they're like, well, we have it. So all these guys are wearing them. So imagine if they showed the show and everybody was wearing GoPro head cams and they didn't show a single shot because it was all kind of unusable. People would be like, where's all the GoPro footage? You know, like, we know you guys had cameras. Would you guys not put batteries in them? No, the footage just kind of sucked, but we showed you guys some of it anyway. Like,
And if they go back and, I mean, so if, say they had, you know, one camera from the back, one camera from the side, so 3 cameras on the sideline battle, and then everyone's wearing a GoPro. If you go back carefully, and you could probably cut together a really compelling, like, probably 5 to 20 second clip of really, you can see what happened in that moment, right? Like, you could really carefully construct an instant replay that is exciting to watch and really illustrates what paintball is all in one you know, moment. But there just wasn't the time for that sort of thing. And yeah, we're doing, like, that's kind of the format of our movie. Like, I just watched a portion of Tyler Harmon's segment, and, you know, we have 3 cameras on him basically, and sometimes a GoPro, and, you know, it's really cool because you see him running, you see the guy he's about to bunker, and you can cut in between those 2 shots. And then you have, like, a cam on the side that's like, I mean, we're not trying to tell the story of, like, what happened in the game. We're just trying to illustrate, you know, a beautiful moment to music, and that's it. And you know, whatever. But, you know, they could do both. They can have, you know, a sports broadcast, but with also compelling, because honestly, that was my favorite part of the show was watching those beautiful over the shoulder shots, 3rd person point of view, and then, you know, kind of that highlight slow-mo footage. Like, that, I feel like, is that type of eye candy is enough, along with some character building, to make a compelling show. I mean, I think you're right. Those UFC guys are headed, they're pointed in the right direction, because what I want to be able to, and look, I get what you're saying about, like, it's got to be $1 million, it's got to be unattainable. Like, you know, I feel like they're glossing over what the real stories are. I mean, I thought it was interesting as fuck that you've got a Russian team that has to travel all these different crazy ways to come over here against, like, probably any type of political advisement that they get in Russia, and play paintball against, you know, the rest of the world here. Like, those guys are, you know, severed from what they know, basically. And they, instead of embracing that and making that part of the story, they say, oh, it's the Red Legion. You know, we don't want to acknowledge that Russians are winning. And
no Russian,
like,
right? Yep.
Yeah, like, I get that, right? Like, of course, I'm against the conflict too. Like, I don't want to be like, yeah, Russians are superior in military strategy or combat. Like, that's what we're implying here. However, it isn't really that. This is a competition, and the storyline is interesting, and that's where I would have gone with it if I was directing the show. But, you know, that's, you know, not what they were going for. And also, again, didn't really have time to paint that picture. They just wanted to show paintball in a positive light, and I think they accomplished that.
I say that's accurate.
More bunkerings.
More bunkerings. Well, here,
Sure. I mean, and again, like, that's so interesting. So, in Great American Paintball, right? There's a photo in here which wasn't originally in there, and I was re-going through the photos, and I was like, wow, gotta put that one in, and I'll show you it right now. And I got a comment from one of the people who sponsors the magazine that we shouldn't have that photo in, right? And I thought to myself, like, that this is what we do and it's who we are, right? It's not, you know, doesn't represent all of paintball everywhere, but it does happen, right? It's this photo. You know, people in the industry don't want to see this because they don't want to scare off, you know, a kid or his mother, or, you know, make it seem like it's too dangerous to play. But this is the reality of it. I mean, yes, that's a rare situation, but it happens, especially on our level. So, I mean, there's a line, I'm sure, but, you know, I personally, like, I want to tell it how it is. And if I'm watching something on TV and they don't pull any punches, I don't care what it is. That's what makes that Formula One show interesting to me, is that, you know, the characters are that, and that's what they get into, right? Like, I don't know if the guy, the coach of or the manager of the Haas team that swears all the time and is always upset, like, I don't know how much of a player he is, but he's a big character in the show, and I can relate to him, you know? And really,
because you guys look a lot alike, or
no, just like getting frustrated with you like that, you know? So, you know, you know, it's not really about race car driving. Like, the most interesting part about that show is the characters, the guys moving in between teams, the competition between the two guys on the same team to who's going to be like the guy. Like, you know, that's the interesting stuff, not who won the race. Verstappen wins the race. Like, that's
Right. The robot wins every time.
Yeah, which is great. But, like, if they were to focus on that every time, the show would suck. Every episode would be the same.
Right.
They don't focus on that. They focus on the characters. And I could, again, like, I know Skinny probably watched that show because he's big into Formula One now. But I could care less about who wins the Formula One races. Like, I'm not tuning in. I like the show, though. So, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and those characters exist in paintball. And
well, for sure. And I think it's just the fantasy side of things. Like, the show would, part of the reason the show is cool is because obviously you have a couple of the guys that are very, like, combative and just have great big personalities, but you're also seeing lavish lifestyles that people live, and then there's this big, at the end of the day, there's this big, you know, loss or win of something that's unattainable. It's like,
and that's something we don't have.
We don't have any of that. Like, nobody wants to, like, be like, okay, let's go back to Alex's life or Ryan's life and Kyle's life. Like,
it's like mundane compared to those guys, because it's
it's like, all right, cool, they're in Spick Span Studio.
Not to say though that there's not interesting components of our lives, right? Like,
for sure,
there are.
No, absolutely. I mean,
but
not yours.
But you're right. Like, and we kind of do have the similar storyline to, like, the guy's dad who has the billionaire who owns the team, right? He came in and he's like, I bought the team and now my son's a driver, right? So, like, that storyline, you know, that exists in paintball, but just on a smaller monetary scale. And those guys, like the benefactors of some of the big paintball teams, I don't think they're making money. There's no way. You know, they're spending tens and hundreds of millions on building a car and getting to the race and the whole team and funding the whole thing. And, you know, what are they getting out of it? Not that, right? Like, maybe some of the companies like Red Bull and those guys, sure, but I could estimate, by and large, Formula One is a big loss for people who are actually paying for it.
Here, let's check this out. I just got this from Go Sports. This is a sneak peek for everybody. Make sure you guys can't see the website. This is here's Kyle. Sorry, you have to.
You just make it bigger.
Because then I gotta. Oh yeah, I can just. I'll just make it. I'll just make it full screen. Yeah. Let's rip it. Let's rip this. So here, this is a really long video, but here's a lot of here's a full length, like, 1 hour feature of some of the GoPro footage. Kind of takes you in, and I don't know. I guess I can turn the audio on.
Yeah, like, this would be great to hear. You know, or watch and sit down and watch each guy's camp.
Bullshit. As soon as I shift, I'll just step in.
I don't know if you guys can hear the audio.
Yeah, we can.
So this will start up here. It's 49. 20 seconds. Oh, there he is, tightening his barrel. Yeah, make sure that barrel's tight. I forgot I had to unscrew it a little bit to get the velocity down.
Go behind me. On the inside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shaka Delta! Shaka Delta! Hey, 200! 200! Ricky! Denver!
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. I mean, again, lots of backs and loaders.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just that shot.
that shot's not
Yeah,
bad.
Razor's edge, right? It's like
Got
showing
some-
Yeah,
him.
showing
in the
how
pit
close to his guy
action.
he's shooting.
Yeah.
Mistake again, right? Okay. Right?
Hey, man, when you
Still
listen
come
to
in
the
here
fire.
look that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw him go?
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah, I mean, we could do so much better, like with the Go Sports broadcast, if we had this. You know, obviously you'd have to do this in post.
Yeah, and Darren's had some of this stuff in the past.
Yep.
Like some of these shots, like that's like it shows how fast it is. But you can tell they didn't have the GoPro setting on correctly. Like there should be no movement in these cameras. Oh, he just got bunkered. So where's the footage of that guy getting bunkered?
Yeah, my summation is like they had so much
I never
footage to go
run
through
that
that,
thing. Kidding?
you know, they're trying to do it quickly and they're paying an
Here we go.
editor to.
Here we
I
go.
mean, did Go Sports do it?
This is all, yeah. So, this is all Go Sports right there. And there's, I think he's gonna.
I mean, that
release
was
it
cool. Like he got shot in the arm. Do you see that? He checked it and he went out.
so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to know that he, yeah. guys are walking out. It's good to know. It's always good to know.
I don't know. Just seeing that there are some cool shots in there that you can use. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd have to be longer than 22 minutes for sure, but it looked like there are some there was
Yeah,
some
there's
There's
spots
definitely some
there.
nuggets.
There was some good
Yeah,
GoPro.
definitely
footage.
could have used some of those shots, but again, man, it's.
So Go Sports is gonna release that.
I believe so.
I wonder how
Yeah.
the teams are gonna feel about those conversations at the start box and in the pit, because I feel like they're maybe kind of intricate.
Yeah, but I mean, you're allowed
Yeah.
to film it anyway.
Yeah.
I guess like that, as long as you're not filming a practice and then releasing it before we play the team that we're gonna play the next day. I think it's kind of
gave away our calls.
yeah. We don't know what the hell they're saying, and everybody knows that you shuffle off the box anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many secrets that were given there, aside from the unscrewing the barrel to chrono on. That's a nice secret. That's a nice one. No, the tolerances are not very tight on those guns, so I think that the barrel comes unscrewed. Is what I heard. Yeah, like when you chrono it over the chrono, it like unscrews a couple of turns, and then you have to like.
Yeah, you need
constantly
the O-ring
tighten it.
on there.
You need the O-ring on there. Yeah, we all already knew about the barrel trick. All right, well, guys, this has been a fun one. This is a good show. This is a great show. I'm glad that that everybody. Alex, I've got some trivia for you. Let's see here. How many times do you think you were on the show? Al?
41.
You think it's been 41 times?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here.
Let's see the answer.
I've got two accountings. Let me make sure they're both correct. They're both the same. So you think you've been on the show 50 times? I'm good.
41.
41 times. 41 times. Verb, how many times do you think Alex has been on the show?
57.
What is that
57.
other number?
I don't know what that means. Alex apparently, this is from Rob Palomo and Mr. Doc. Well, just Doc. Alex first appeared on episode 82 of the show, which I'm kind of a little
I feel like that's
kind
not.
of odd, but I gotta.
Whoa.
But 98 times Alex has been on the show. He's been on the show 98 times.
Wasted my life.
Yeah.
You took my best years, Greenspan.
Number 3 is pretty good.
And Alex has said Ryan is right 2 times on air, which I also feel like is conservative. I feel that's a conservative number.
Oh, that means I lied at least twice.
Oh wait.
Oh, he must have been live on the show in person.
Oh,
Episode
2
82.
times. Because what? First.
Alex trivia. What logo did Alex make for the Spick and Span one with the images both hosts, and it appeared on episode 19 for the first time? Sloane's appeared on the show 25 times, and she supported the show since episode 1, Alex.
No, she's been on the show way more than that. She comes on at the end almost every show.
She even sponsors the show.
Yeah, she's
with a monthly donation.
Yeah, she donates. Yeah, she yeah. I embezzle her college fund. Well, technically, she's on every episode because she did the voiceover in the beginning.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
We're trying, everybody. And we'd like to say, in an official Spick and Span Show statement, that we are sorry to everybody out there that we wasted your time.
Dude, how good does Verbal's camera and mic look and sound?
Dude, this guy came in here flexing on.
His voice sounds so smooth. Give us a like a lead in, Verbal.
That is not my thing, unfortunately.
But if you force me to,
I don't know. I need something to read. I'll read it.
Oh, that was funny.
Welcome to the smooth sounds of the Spick and Span Show.
Brought to you by Depends.
Brought to you by HORMESIS.
Depends. Of course the. Oh.
What happened?
I don't know. That was weird. Right when you started making fun of the Spick and Span Show, everything froze.
Overloaded it. Too much quality. Can't handle it.
It is. It's just trying. I think it's probably because I opened up
It's working right now.
I opened up all the Wheel of Names folders.
I'm watching on my other screen.
Oh, okay. It's just frozen on my end. My computer's freezing. These the Wheel of Names just it takes
Watching on my other.
it takes up too much memory. Oh, there we go. We're spinning. I'm gonna spin the wheel on the side here because it's using up too much RAM or data or something. So I've got a couple things I'm gonna give away. Kyle, WCPPL this weekend. You've got some new bands that are coming out.
Yeah.
The D's Nuts band.
No, that's for Spick and Span.
Oh, this is for us.
Yeah.
Dude, D's Nuts. We'll put it up right here.
We don't do the cheesy stuff. We don't do the fun slogans. The D's Nuts slogan.
Tiger wear. D's Nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is a great show, man. God, look at how crispy it looks right here when you blow up the screen a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, Verb. What is that mic? Thing looks like it's from the 70s, but it's like...
Do we end
it
this?
projects like it's the... Yeah, I think we're smooth. We're not smooth streaming anymore. Just going over there.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, we are.
I think it's an older mic, but it's a Sennheiser MD44 1U.
Sennheisenberger.
Did you
That's
couldn't...
Kyle. That's a Sennheiser MD nuts.
Sennheisenberger.
So you can remember all... Do you remember all that, or do you have the stats just pulled up?
No, I had to look that one up because I can never. That's a lot of numbers, and
I was saying
some
that was...
dude asked in the chat, so I was like, let me pull it up for him.
Oh, it sounds like Mafia has the same one.
No, he has
SM7B.
That's the most common broadcast mic in history, and it's fantastic as well.
What about the Blue Yeti? Rob Palomo just hooked it up with the new Blue Yeti.
That's the
smooth sounds of the most advanced microphone. Don't listen to Verbal ever in the history of podcasting.
That thing, dude. ASMR in that.
Sounds good, huh?
You got a cup of noodles and eat it in there.
I know. Mukbang. If we had some chips, we'll get some. Let's drink that water right next to it. Show Verbal what's up.
This is gonna be
Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
Came out my nose.
That's coming out of Sloan's college fund if these buttons don't work anymore.
Bro.
Jesus.
I wonder how many views I'm gonna get for that. How many times did you watch that, Al?
Yeah, Verb. I mean, yeah, I'm going back to that for sure.
clip it and ship it.
Verb, do you have anything to eat in there?
Got some everything nuts.
Yeah, open the bag under the mic.
Everything. These
There you go.
nuts.
Nope, didn't hear it.
Yep, you gotta turn the gain up. No, we're not getting any noise.
Wow.
Yeah. See,
None of that.
this mic has great rejection, so like it doesn't pick up a lot. Like if I'm not talking, like up close to
Alex's
it,
personality's got a lot of great rejection too.
back here talking.
Oh, you can't hear is good. That
We
far
need
away.
You gotta be making out with this
Get
mic.
some new mics for ASMR content. You should have an ASMR section of the show.
Yeah.
Like
we could technically have our
pour
own
a pod,
little mic
pour
over
a pod
here.
into a loader.
Here we go. All this paint is stuck to the bottom of this thing. Well, it smells like bananas. That one's not gonna work. All right. Anyway, we're really reaching here to get the rest of the show going. Kyle's got a bunch of new Tiger Wear bands. Check them out at the WCPPL this weekend. We'll be out there starting Thursday. I think Matty Marshall's gonna come up there. I'm coaching the Narcos and Team Omega. I didn't see Lando in here, but we're gonna be up there. And I'll see Alex here in a couple weeks. I'm gonna come up to Sacramento to practice. And we'll see everybody next week on Tuesday. Just as a reminder, if you haven't seen the full show like I haven't, go ahead and sign up for YouTube. Subscribe to our show first. I think becoming a member of this show is a precursor and actually a prerequisite for watching the show. But Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And then again on Tuesday, after your favorite show, it will be on at 8 p.m. Next Tuesday, 11 Eastern. So make sure you guys share all that. Watch it on, watch it. And then obviously we have, out of 200 votes, 70% of you said you loved it. It was great for the sport. 25% of you guys, I don't even know where that poll just went. 25 of you guys, 25% of you.
At the bottom.
And there we go. 24% of you said you didn't like it, and 4% of you, about 8 of you, said you didn't like it at all, meaning it was not great for the sport. I think Burger Man is probably one of those people, and he probably has a bunch of burner accounts, 7 of them, that he also voted that he did not like the show from all of those.
Burgers for days.
Burgers for days, man.
He's in here still.
No, I know.
Let's give him a break.
Okay.
Burger for days. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
We like you still.
But Tom's email is on the NXL webcast, so if you have problems with it, go ahead and give him a call or an email.
I'm happy for Burgers for Days actually sharing his opinion.
No, it's good. It takes a lot of, well, it doesn't take a lot to do it if you don't have your real name up there.
Yeah.
Like we'll tell it how it is. We'll drop it and
hey.
let people know.
You're swell, Ryan.
Look at that.
You're swell.
We turned him. He's back. It's all love now. We did it.
Why is he? What is he saying?
The show's wrapping up. He comes and checks.
He said he loves everything and he loves all about paintball. He loves us. Hell yeah.
Dude,
not sharing my first name James. Not sharing my last name.
You know what, Burgers for Days? I'm gonna have a burger tonight just to celebrate you.
Get yourself a gazy, Al. You've earned it.
Burgers for Days.
You've earned it.
Let's say that when I order it too. Give me a Burgers for Days. Dude, this dandruff is killing me, bro.
Oh God, he's disgusting. All right, guys. Thank you all very much for everything.
Verbal, you know, if your wife made you use a bar of soap to wash your hair, you'd have dandruff too.
Oh my goodness.
Al, you wash your body, your whole body, head to toe. Toes, like literally toes, cheeks, and face and head with the same bar of soap.
No, it's a special shampoo bar that doesn't work.
A shampoo, but do you just rub it in your head?
Yeah.
How do you?
It's fine. I mean, the application part isn't the problem. It's that it doesn't work as shampoo.
You need to have conditioner.
I use conditioner.
Conditioner bar.
No, it's got to be a conditioner bar. Dude, just put the head and shoulders in the cupboard and stuff.
You probably need a
Dandruff, that's my problem. But Blake's
So basically, all the dandruff just gets stuck to your hair gel. That's
Is
not
the show
fixing
over?
the. Yeah, the show's over.
Yeah. The show.
This is the best part of the show. I mean, the mic's still hot, so you can keep talking. Your mic is different than ours.